Thanks for being with us this evening. Obviously not out camping again. We've a week out. We've got a trip next weekend, so hopefully that means that we can bring you some special goodness from the road. So tonight, what we're going to do is in the smoker, we're going to use the PitBoss again today. We're going to do some of one of my favourite foods that I've managed to find anywhere, and that's the Philly cheesesteak. Now, there's a lot of ways that this could be done. Tonight, it's going to be fairly simple and one that you guys can really easily do at home if you want. So stay tuned, guys. Let's get into it. All right, just got a couple of bits of steak here. Doesn't really matter what cut. You just want it to be fairly nice and tender. So, you know, obviously something a little bit more marbling is going to be better. And all you want to do is, I usually cut it in half lengthways and then just strip it. Now obviously the fat content in this one's making that last cut a little bit, so I might actually just cut some of that off. Nice small strips. You only want them to be sort of that big. And basically that's gonna get put into the sandwich, so I'll cut the rest of this up and you guys can wait for the next bit. All right, so essentially what I'm gonna do now, just grab some beef rub. Now, I haven't made this myself. I'm actually using a pre-made one. So basically just give it a nice coat. It just adds a bit of flavor, a bit of salt, you know, just a bit to mix it up a bit. You don't need heaps, so by no means smother it in it. You just want to add a little bit of flavor. And that's basically the meat done. What we're gonna do now, we're just gonna move on to the veggies. Now, in these, basically, you've got capsicum and onion, and that's the only other thing on that you need to get cooking until you put the cheese on at the last minute. So I'll chop all of that up, and then we'll go outside to the cooker. One other thing I should add in too, just to give it a bit of colour, I try and use different capsicums. So I've got red, yellow and green here. Sometimes they're not all available. It's not the end of the world really, it's just capsicum. And the other thing that I'll add in too is the bread that I use today is going to be a baguette. You can use any type of bread, but usually a French stick or a baguette or something like that is usually the easiest on something like this. Chop it in half, butter it up, and then just throw it in the top shelf of your barbecue if you can. Otherwise, in the toaster, in the oven, whatever you can use. If you're out camping, perfect over the fire, just to get it a bit nice and crispy. And it just brings it up so well. It'll finish it off just perfect. So let's get into it. Let's go outside. Let's get the barbecue on, and let's get this stuff cooking. forward to the next episode being out camping. Now another cool thing you can do, which I've got Claire to do tonight, is when you're using bread like this, you want sort of as much room as possible. So what we do is we dig it out, in that middle part of the bread, throw some, some garlic and some olive oil or some butter and whatever, and cook it up, and you make like a cool little garlic bread. It also gives you a bit more room to put sort of everything in it, which when you cook way too much like I do, it's exactly what you need to do. The other thing is I'll just mention that I've got a cast iron plate that I use to cook in the barbecue. Basically that's solely for things like this, where I just need that flat plate rather than the grates, and it brings it up spot on. So we'll get these in and we'll wait for it to cook. It shouldn't be too far off. Going to layer the cheese in. Like so. You probably don't have to use as much cheese, but it sort of adds to the flavour. Coat it nice. We'll throw the lid back down. Come back to that in a couple of seconds when it's good to go. Off. We'll do. Scoop it out. Straight on there. Now it's definitely not the healthiest meal in the world, but that'll be a beauty. I reckon that'll suffice the hunger. So let's get the other one off, and we'll go inside and see how they taste. Well, there you have it, guys. An amazing sandwich, very easy to make. Add a bit of salt and pepper to the end product. Fold her up. That's going to be messy. That's probably one of the best parts about this. And off you go. Philly cheesesteak, the burn end style. Cheers, guys. That's still really hot, so make sure you be careful and enjoy. This is a winter dish, a summer dish, at any time dish. When made, has to be one of my favourite foods to make on that barbecue. I'm actually going to try this out on the tracks as well. So we'll see if I can replicate over the campfire. Nice one, guys. Take it easy.